If you want to publish a book, but you feel stuck, out of time, and you don't know what to do next, then it's time to finish the damn book. Here's your host, Susie Schaefer.
Welcome to this episode of Finish the Damn Book. I'm your host, Susie Schaefer. My guest today is Jeffrey Allen Mangus, CEO of Mangus Media Group and co-founder of the Academy of Ghostwriting. Jeffrey has helped over 40 authors and top professionals around the globe with books written for the big five publishers, including HarperCollins, Blackstone, Rowan and Littlefield, Tantor, and Highbridge Audio. A 10-year veteran ghostwriting professional, Jeffrey leverages his knowledge and experience in business, sales, and employee management, along with personal tragedy and insight to serve and drive his professionalism and tenacity in ghostwriting the best books possible. Jeffrey says he loves writing because writing transcends and is lasting, allowing the reader to embark on a personal journey, embracing knowledge, experience, skills, and know-how better than their lives and those around them. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, it's my pleasure to have you here today. So let's talk about your role in the publishing industry. How did you get started and what led you into co-creating the Academy?
Well, to do a quick story, it really started in 2000. I've been a writer my entire life. And I'll say that I dabbled in children's books over the years, got published. I was able to publish 7 children's magazine articles. And, it was a hobby. It was something I enjoyed to do. Plus I did it for my children. I love to, write stories for my kids. So that was a good thing. But over the years I did that. And then, of course, over the years, I've been an entrepreneur for almost half my life. I used to own a real estate company, and I owned 2 real estate companies, and I used to write all the marketing copy for my companies and grew those companies, but still never thought about ever being a professional writer until I lost my left leg in 2017 below the knee. And it was in those moments, and, everyone talks about the, like researching their, thinking about what they want to do. And I really did that. I really soul searched. I truly did a soul search. I was helpless. I couldn't move. There was nowhere to go. And so I did that. And I started journaling my feelings. I've even wrote about that here recently in posts. I journaled my feelings. And that was the only way I could put it all together in my head and to deal with what the loss, because it was a loss. It was grief. And I was dealing with all of that. And that journal turned into my first book. I wrote my first book. It wasn't very good, but it was still my book, and it was one of those things that a friend of mine saw. I did that, and he asked me to ghostwrite a book for him. And I knew what ghostwriting was, but I never thought I'd ever do it. But then the opportunity was just too great, so I took it. And we wrote a book proposal and sold that book out of the gate to HarperCollins leadership, right out of the bat. And so I went from nowhere writer to thrust into the big 5 immediately and started the whole career of ghostwriting. That's how I got started.
Awesome. I love that because honestly, especially a memoir or a legacy book, anything like that, I'm like, it doesn't have to be the best book in the world. It just has to be honest, right?
It has to be honest. Exactly. I'm a huge advocate on the authenticity and honesty in writing. And beyond all of the sales, if anyone gets to know me, and if you're listening to this podcast, I want you to take away that I believe in the spirit of writing above all else. I love it. I actually, seriously, like when I'm not writing or doing something that pertains to writing, things don't feel in sync. And the only way to make it feel in sync is to write. And so it's really important to me.
Yeah.
It goes way beyond all sales and all that marketing stuff like that.
What do you think are some of the biggest myths about working as a ghostwriter, but also what do people need to know about the skill and art of ghostwriting for authors?
Well, that's a great question. So the myths, honestly, because we always talk about the myth of, there's a lot of authors have it's an ego thing, and it's not a bad thing. Some authors feel like having someone else write their book is not honest. It's not authentic. But I always push back on that. Even though they may not be putting the pen to the paper, it's still their story. It's their honest story. And they're just using me as a vessel to bring that story onto the page and make it engaging, bring the reader in, to bring them in. That's a skill in itself, is to draw that reader in to where they're like, I got to turn the page and not put this book down. And that, I think that's that dispels the myth of, hey, I don't want to use a ghostwriter. I want to be honest. Use a ghostwriter. I mean, think about it. If you're a plumber and you got a water leak, do you care how they fix the leak? No, you just want the leak fixed. It's the same thing. If you have a book idea and you have it burning in your head and you want to get it out, but you don't have the skill set, it's okay. Hire a ghostwriter. We can get it done for you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there is no shame in using ghostwriters because, and many people have actually said, if it weren't for, even though they've written their own book, they said, if it wasn't for my editor, this book it would be a load of crap, right? Because I'm not a good writer. That's not where I've been trained. It's not where my strength is, but exactly. I have great ideas, and so you're right. Using a ghostwriter just really makes you as the writer shine. It really polishes your story so that, it is something that people are going to want to read. And so they're, reading a book and then picking out mistakes. We don't want that happening, right?
Absolutely not. And the thing about it is with me, being a ghostwriter is to me, it's more like a ghost strategist because we're not just writing. We're listening to your concepts. We are visualizing what you're trying to say. And we're also another set of eyes and ears. Ears is very important in what I do. Listening with empathy, compassion, right? Not just listening to say another sentence. I'm actually listening and taking it in. But with that said, that's how concepts are fully fleshed out. Some authors come to us and come to me and they have an idea, and then I immediately envision that idea further. That's something that I really bring to the table. And most ghostwriters do. And that's the thing. We should do that. It's part of our job is to help that author flesh out concepts, bring ideas to the page, and make it engaging. And storytelling is critical, being able to tell a story.
Yeah. Obviously, you're so passionate about what you do. I just love that. What type of time frame can someone expect as far as working with a ghostwriter? Like, is it, 4 months? Is it 9 months? What does it usually take?
That's a great question. And normally, on average, between 4 to 6 months, depending on the length and size of the book. Also, it depends on research. And again, talking about concepts and ideas, what needs to be fleshed out, what needs to be, pushed further, and also what needs to be taken away, what's not going to fit in that book. All that is together, but usually 4 to 6 months. But I will say that if you get a skilled ghostwriter, an experienced ghostwriter, such like us, like what we do, depending on how fast the author wants to get it done, it can be done quicker, but it all depends on the collaboration and the energy put together. It can't be just a ghostwriter goes off and write your book. It doesn't happen that way. There's a collaboration that has to happen,
right?
But it can be done a little quicker that way.
Yeah. And then do your ghostwriters work in conjunction with the editors to get it to that finished product?
Absolutely. It's with Mangus Media Group, with our team of writers, I'm very proud of that. We got a great team. We've got a great team of publishing professionals such as you. And with all the ghostwriters, they're tenured professionals. So they're used to working with editors, and the processes are very streamlined and handed off. Once that manuscript is approved by the author, it goes through the different steps to the finish line. The thing about the agency that I'm very proud of, as you and I know, the author knows everyone in their team. They know who's working on their at every stage. The author knows who that person is or who that team is. We keep it open and transparent. It keeps everything flowing. So the author has a seamless experience. That's what we want.
So that's Mangus Media Group. And so that's your role in the publishing industry. Whereas the ghostwriting is just a portion of that bigger picture.
That's correct. Yeah. Going back just a little bit, I didn't just wake up one day and go, hey, I want to have a ghostwriting agency. Over the past 4 to 5 years, I've worked with different agencies, in the industry. And I've learned quite a bit of things from those agencies. Really what I've learned is what not to do. I've learned, and there's nothing negative. I'm not saying anything negative. Anyone listening here, they're all great agencies. But what I've seen the flaws, and I've seen the holes and the gaps and also paying attention to the industry, which people don't realize. The publishing industry is always churning and it's always changing. It's always changing. It's always on an influx of change. And I pay attention to all of that. And over the years, so I've paid attention to all these things, that I've taken from these agencies that I found that are flaws. And I'm like, how can I fix that? And so I just, being who I am, and I'm a person who loves to help people. I love to help people. And I've always been that way. That'll never change. That's just who I am. I believe in making other people successful makes me successful. And it's just, I can't even describe that. That's who I am. That's the personality that I have. And so I take that and I started thinking about how can I make something that's it's not about being different. It's about providing a service that is above what others are producing. Actually it's the heart of the matter and our statement is we bring world-class writers to world-class leaders. We merge these two together with a team of individuals, right? And that's, to me, there's beauty in that. But every single person in the agency is hand chosen for a specific reason. Their personality, their professional level, their reputation, and their ability to work as a team. I've worked with many of them in the past. So I put this agency together and with the idea of not scaling. And everyone calls me crazy when I say that, but I don't want to scale and have 1,000 ghostwriters.
Right.
My goal is to keep Mangus Media Group close, knit, small, boutique. And I want to focus on the high level executives, coaches, leaders, founders, thought leaders. I want to help these individuals tell their stories, elevate their businesses by doing it small. And I want to build the agency out. I want to build it on the inside with our processes, with our team, with our camaraderie, and having that kind of family atmosphere. That's what I envisioned.
Yeah. And I love that because it's very similar to the concept of my business where I wanted to provide white glove service to my clients.
Absolutely.
I want them to be able to come to me and know that I'm going to take care of them every step of the way. And I love the fact that the Mangus Group pulls in people to create that entire package of professionals that they're going to need to finish their book. I mean,
Absolutely.
you can't finish a book and not have a cover designer. You can't finish a book and not have somebody who's going to help you manage your accounts. You can't have, a book and not have somebody who's going to do the interior design and ebook conversion and editing. Like there's so many pieces to it that I think most people, when they embark on their publishing journey and they start just by writing, they don't understand the complexity of it. And
they do not. That is correct. Yes.
And this is where a lot of authors just kind of fall off the cliff. I've got a book written, but I don't know what's next.
I just posted about that today. What's next? That's the thing. And you're right. And going back to what you asked me about, how this all came about, I saw a fragmented industry. There's working, and it really pointed toward me. I was working with many authors, and then I would write a manuscript for them. And I'd do my best to help them publish, but I realized that is not my forte. I need professionals, right? I need professional editors. I need professional book designers. I need this to be done, but not fragmented. Like I don't want the author talking to this person over here and this person over here.
Yeah.
And there's no communication and it all falls apart. Plus, being the professional that I am, I felt like I needed to do that for my authors. I needed to pull this together to make something great, right? For them. It's not about me, it's about them. Exactly. And so that's the idea. Everything, it's under one umbrella, everything right here. An author doesn't have to go anywhere else. They don't have to look. They don't have to worry about it. We handle all of that.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
That truly is service to others. And let's talk a little bit about your background. You have a very spiritual background because of what happened to you with your leg, but also just your life in general. You come from a very spiritual perspective. What changed for you during your journey into becoming a ghostwriter and developing the Ghostwriting Academy and the Mangus Media Group?
Again, going back to, yes, I'm very spiritual and, I truly believe and I put my trust, in the Lord. That's what I do. It's at the heart of it. But going throughout the whole thing, especially I met Tim Jacobs, Tim Jacobs, a wonderful, wonderful guy. And it was all serendipitous because I put together the Academy of Ghostwriting and the curriculum I built all of that. with the envision of launching a course and on throughout, really to get it out there, but throughout the whole process of it. And I had never spoken to Tim about him being a partner, nothing. We had met and we knew each other from the Association of Ghostwriters. But he was just on my mind and I couldn't even explain it. So when I launched the course, he messaged me and said, "Hey man, I'd love to be a coach." And I said, "No, I don't want you to be a coach. I want you to come in and be a partner." And that changed things because then I learned about what he did with JWC Publishing and all of the things he was doing. Then I learned about you, and we met serendipitously, and it was authentic and it was honest, and I felt that. And I'm the kind of guy, I go by my feelings. I let that spiritual feeling, lead me. I let it lead me, and I have those great feelings about you and about Tim and others in the agency. And so he and I partnered to create the Academy of Ghostwriting, and it's been just a successful thing to help. Again, going back to helping others be successful writers. And my heart of the matter there, Susie, is the ghostwriting industry. There's no barrier to entry. Anyone can just hang their hat and say, "I'm a writer.
Right.
I'm a ghostwriter today." And that's the problem. There's a lot of individuals, little potential authors out there that find these individuals who say they're writers with no experience. They get a bad experience. They have a bad experience. Their book falls apart. Then the whole thing is tainted. The Mangus Media Group is trying to save all of that. And the Academy of Ghostwriting, we're trying to elevate skill levels with writers, and not only with the physical writing side of it, we're elevating their business, making them professional, shine more professional, so that way they can elevate their fees and they can get good clients, and then also these clients get good ghostwriters. That it's a catch-22, whatever you want to say. It's a mixture of that.
Exactly. And many people that are running, businesses, entrepreneurs, even if they're a CEO of a big company, they don't have the time to actually write their book. That's one of the biggest things that I hear is that I don't have the time. I want to write my book. I've got it in me. I've got my notes, but I just don't have the time to write it. And then that's when I say, well, you just need a ghostwriter.
Right. That's when you just need to step up and say, "Hey, I'll let someone do this." Most CEOs, most executives, most thought leaders, they do delegate tasks that they don't have time to do. So why not, if you have a book idea, then delegate it to a ghostwriter? But one other obstacle that I'm finding with the agency, with the group, is that there's many authors out there, but they're almost afraid of what we're talking about, the fragmented industry. They're afraid of getting involved because it's going to take up time. It's going to take up energy. It might fail. There's so many variables that are risk, that we're trying to answer. And so that to alleviate the risk and bring them in so they can have an exemplary experience. That's what we want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about intuition. This is one of my favorite questions.
I love it.
So when was the time that you used your intuition, or maybe you didn't? And what was the result of that? And how do you use your intuition today?
I use my intuition every single day. I listen to that voice every single day. And that voice never steers me wrong. It never does. And but when I first started using it, honestly, I can say I've used it my entire life, but the pivotal moment going back to when I lost my limb, I was following that voice. Do this. Be a writer. This is you. This is you. This is you. And that was real. It was scary. I'm not gonna lie. I was selling real estate. I was making all this money, but I wasn't happy.
Right.
I wasn't happy. And my wife will tell you that if I was still selling real estate, we'd probably be divorced, So.
True. Because you know what? Yeah. Happy wife is happy life. Right. And
Exactly
honestly,
right.
And it's really important that we do find, I spent over 30 years in corporate America, and there were very, very few days, mostly when I was in radio, that I absolutely loved going to work every day. But there were very few days when I was in human resources and different corporate jobs that I loved going to work. And now I love going to work. I love being able to connect with the people I work with. I love hearing about their stories. I love seeing their success. That's completely different level of work. And yes, I followed my intuition too, because I didn't know what I was going to do after my divorce. I was like,
Right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. You find yourself in that gray area, right? Of like, what do I do? Do I follow this? But but your point proof, you follow your heart, you follow that intuition. Look where you are, and
Right.
that passion. I it, it may sound cliche, but I swear to you, I wake up the same thing every day. I'm excited to go to work. I
Yeah.
am excited. Can't wait. Can't wait to do it.
It's fun that we get to work with authors and we get to help them, their dreams come true. Because so many people say, oh yeah, I've had a dream of writing forever. And I'm like, well, let's make it happen. Let's do it.
Absolutely. I'm book coaching a gentleman right now, and he's a spiritual gentleman as well, and he's very spiritual, and we connect in that way as well. But you know, working with him, as a book coach, it's of course it's different from ghostwriting. I'm not writing, but there's something so magical about it, right? But when I hear gentlemen like him say, this book could not have been done without you. I hear these kind of statements. It's humbling.
Yeah.
It's humbling. Like, but also when I say that, it sets me in a different place. Like, you're definitely on the right track. You followed your intuition, and you're on the right track. You can't go wrong with this type of things. And when I see authors, I just finished a book with Tim, who is an author. He, a CEO, and again, wrote a stellar testimony on his experience. That's humbling for me. It's not about a big head at all. I don't do that. For me, it almost like putting a puzzle piece together. Wow, okay, I'm definitely on the right path to making this puzzle a whole thing. So
Absolutely. So what do you think? As you know, I love to play with cards.
I love it. I love it.
Shall we pull some cards for our listeners? And if you would like, is there something that you would like to, ask about what the cards want, like something that is going to relate to our conversation?
Yeah.
And
So we have some potential things in the pipeline that you and I know about that. I'd love to ask the cards, like, not per se if they're going to happen, but ask the cards, how well we can do these projects for, how they're going to come out at the end. Are they going to be fruitful? Or, I'm really curious about that. See what the cards say.
okay, so what information do we need to know, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, about future projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So the first card out is a 37 card. So 37 reduces to a 10. And 10s are about endings, but really, if you take the 1 and 0, you're really at the beginning of a new cycle. This card is never ending story. So what this says to me is that any kinds of cycles that we've had in the past where maybe somebody, didn't sign with us or something like that, this cycle is coming to an end. So I see that there's going to be more abundance. And I'm getting this really for a lot of authors. There are an abundance of resources for you. So this feeling of, am I ever going to get started on this book or that kind of thing? It's coming to an end. So think about it in terms of, we just finished a Mercury retrograde too, but as we're recording this to me and coming out of Lionsgate, it really is about we're now on the launching pad. So all the stuff that kept us stuck in the past, it's done. Yeah. You now have an open, clear runway to move forward. And I feel like that's going to happen with us in us working together with Mangus Media Group. But also I'm getting that very strongly for the listeners of this podcast. You have an open runway. So go for it. Like, just let yourself fly, right?
Let yourself fly. Let it go. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. And then we got the 44 card. So 44 is a master number, and 4s are about balance and stability. And this is the thinker card. Interesting, because I did another recording and I got this card. So this message is really wanting to come out. Stop overthinking things. Hit the easy button. Hire a ghostwriter, right? Reach out to people in this industry that can point you in the right direction. And, it's interesting because when I do a consultation with somebody, it's 30 minutes. It's free, right?
Right.
It is probably the most valuable 30 minutes any author can spend just to get the information and to understand, how does this work? What are my next steps, right? Let's get you started. So stop overthinking it. You've got it all within you. You You just need a little help, right?
Right. Just need a
Yes.
push. And we're here to do that. We're here
Exactly.
to help.
And
But
the
we're
next,
not pushing.
yeah. we will lovingly push you, but not not like push you off the edge, but I mean push you as far as be your accountability partner. Like when we
Right.
work with authors, sometimes that's all people need is to have an accountability partner. Now, we got a 14 card, so 14 reduces to a 5. 5 is the number of change. This one is truth be told. And on this card, there's a little owl. And in the space of his torso is an open window with hearts flying out of it. So it's saying, allow your truth to be told. Tell your story.
Wow,
There's a
that's
mask at the
amazing.
bottom. Take
love
off the mask and allow your story to be told. And if you
Yes.
need help, reach out. There are people here that it's our job. It is to help you, support you, guide you, give you little nudges when we need to, help you tap into your own intuition, right? Like
See,
that's our whole job.
That goes exactly what I just said earlier. I feel like I'm not just a ghost writer, I'm a ghost strategist, right? I feel like I
Totally. Yeah.
just guide along on everything from the process to even if they're having personal issues. Hey, let's talk about it. What's holding you back? What can we help you with?
Absolutely. So those are great cards. Never ending story. Okay. That is done. It's in the past. Don't worry about it. Don't dwell in the past because that's only regret, right? Focus on being in the present and moving forward. Thinker, don't stop overthinking things. Hit the easy button. And truth be told, share your story. Let your heart open up and
That's
be
amazing.
authentic.
I love that. Thank you. That was really, really cool. I mean,
isn't that awesome? I just love it when the cards come out like that. So cool. So Jeffrey, what other words of wisdom would you like to share with our audience that can help them in taking the next steps?
Going back to the cards, going back to that question, again, it's not about, hey, come talk to us. If you're out there and you genuinely have, a book idea or something that you need for your business, something you want to, if you even comes down to the bottom line of, think about your family, think about we talk about legacy all the time, but a book is something that's tangible and it transcends time. And so you can leave your mark in history, really, in your culture, leave a book, behind that lets people know who you are, what you've done in your life, what you've experienced that no one else could experience except for you. So it opens up the door to allowing your family, friends, colleagues, and future business people, future business, individuals out there that want to get to know you, know who you are on a personal level and also on a business level. It brings that authority. So I advise you, talk to us, the Mangus Media Group. We'd love to talk to you. There's no pressure ever. We don't do that. We'd love to just talk to you. And again, give you advisement. We'll help you, steer you in the right direction on which way you want to go. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've always said, when we're gone, our stories go with us. So you got to make them tangible, leave them as the record of our existence. So
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How can people find you?
Well, real easy to find. You can find, of course, you can go to mangusmediagroup.com and there's all of the information and what we do. You can get a hold of us real easy there, mangusmediagroup.info@gmail.com. And also you can find me on LinkedIn and just Jeffrey A. Mangus and Mangus Media Group there. We're all there. We'd love to talk to you. Again, no pressure. We definitely would love to hear about your book concepts and ideas. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, thank you so much for being here today. It was absolutely a pleasure to speak with you again. I do enjoy our conversations.
Me too. I love it. Thanks, Susie. I appreciate you.
And if you found this interesting, I encourage you to join me for the next episode and be sure to subscribe. Every week, one lucky listener who subscribes and posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will be entered into a drawing for the grand prize, a private VIP day with me, valued at $25,000. So be sure to subscribe and post a review. Until then, keep on writing so you can finish the damn book. We'll see you next time.
So that's it for today's episode of Finish the Damn Book. Head on over to wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe to the show. One lucky listener every single week that posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a $25,000 value private VIP day with Susie Schaefer herself. Head on over to finishthedamnbookpodcast.com and pick up a free copy of Susie's gift. And join us on the next episode.